Welcome to LCAP Legacy, Decades of Dedication, the podcast that celebrates the incredible individuals who have shaped the heart and soul of the Lawrence County Community Action Partnership.
Each episode, we'll dive deep into the stories of those who have devoted their careers to making a difference, not just in our organization, but in the lives of the people we serve every day.
We'll uncover their journeys, explore the moments that inspire them, and highlight the lasting impact of their commitment to LCAP's mission.
So whether you're here to learn, be inspired, or simply celebrate the amazing people who make LCAP what it is, thank you for joining us.
This is LCAP Legacy, Decades of Dedication.
Let's get started with today's guest.
You're now listening to LCAP Legacy Decades of Dedication, and we are back with another special episode. And typically we have an extra guest along with Amber and Kim in the studio. However, this episode is going to be special because we're actually focusing on one of our marketing outreach team members, which is Kim Settle. So we're going to talk about Kim and all that she does for the agency. In her current role, she is the agency services specialist, and she will be celebrating her 9th year here at LCAP in August. So Kim, thank you so much for being our guest this episode.
Well, thank you so much for having me as your guest today. I said earlier today, it's a little different feel being a guest instead of being one of the hosts. So I'm excited to be here no matter what role I'm in.
Absolutely.
So thanks a bunch.
And you do so much for the agency. So I thought it was important that we highlight exactly what you do. So walk us through a typical workday for you, Kim.
Oh, a typical work day at LCAP could be just about anything. I do our SNAP outreach program. I'm the representative here at Lawrence County Community Action Partnership for SNAP. And if anybody doesn't know about SNAP, it's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. So what I do is I go out in the community and I talk about SNAP and I talk about the importance of SNAP benefits. And if somebody needs help applying, I could help them apply. And I could help in person here at the Grand Street location, or I could do it over the telephone, whichever is easier. It's funny I say over the telephone because prior to COVID, I would just ask them if they could come into the office. And then when COVID was going on and was a thing, we did a lot of things over Zoom or Teams or, over the telephone. So particularly for SNAP, I did it a lot over the telephone. So I could help anybody, like I said, in person or over the phone, whichever is easier for them. And I help them apply for SNAP benefits. So I do the actual application for the person. It then gets submitted to the county assistance office, and then they take it further from there. They'll either do a phone interview or they'll send everything in the mail, and then they'll let the person know if they're approved for SNAP benefits. And SNAP is a wonderful program because it helps people purchase groceries every month. So they would get a card in the mail, and that card would be refilled monthly. So whatever that person or family is allotted, then they could use that card to purchase groceries at their grocery store of choice, whether it's Giant Eagle or Walmart or Save-A-Lot or Aldi's. So it's a really great program. I'm very passionate about it. Like I said, go out in the community and I bring flyers to different grocery stores, senior homes, mini marts, laundromats, different restaurants. I try to get out as much as I can just to promote SNAP. And then I also attend different outreach events in the community too, here and there as much as I can too. And not only talk about SNAP, but talk about Lawrence County Community Action Partnership as a whole too. So I try to represent all of our different programs and services to the best of my ability. I'm kind of familiar with everything that we do, but again, I don't know it all, so I always have information to provide and contacts for each program so that the person or family is able to contact, what they're looking for, what service they're looking for.
And while we're on the conversation of SNAP, I know your goal is usually 10 applications per week, but you always supersede that. And you were actually recognized by the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank for your work that you do. So, that's outstanding.
Oh, I do. It's a big goal. So it's 10. It's 10 a month. So I have to help 10 families out a month apply for SNAP benefits. And yeah, we were awarded Michelle Scott and her team of ladies in our cafeteria food for early learning department We're recognized for all the hard work that they do each and every day throughout the year and for our summer food programming. And then again, SNAP too. So it was really nice that we were awarded that again this year.
So, Kim, you didn't start as the agency services specialist, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, you're exactly right.
So, when you first started with LCAP, what was your initial role?
My initial role when I started with LCAP back almost 9 years ago was a case manager for our youth programs. And it was in our workforce development department. So now it's called community supports. So I started out doing many different things in our iMatter program, which is a program that is referred through juvenile probation. So it's different kiddos that have to attend a 2-day program. And we do cognitive behavioral intervention, different community services. The kids partake in different activities and events. They do things, part of their community service for different agencies. I think it's the last group that we had actually helped out the Lawrence County Care Center, and they painted canvases about like mental health and about positive thinking and different ways to, have a better state of mental health. And they were recognized, and it was really nice at their forum they had down in Cranberry. So just things like that the kiddos do. I started out in that, and then I did our life skills program too, which is a second part of our iMatter program. So it's a little different. It's more teaching the kids life skills, how to make a resume, how to job search, how to, maybe make different things in the kitchen, how to do laundry, how to sew. Just important life skills that, kids need, especially nowadays too. Writing checks, balancing a checkbook, different things like that. So I was a big part of that. I worked very closely with Chris Fry, who was our mayor for the city of Newcastle. So we work closely together. And then over the years, just the different case managers that we have now in community supports. So I really enjoyed that program. I was involved in that program for about 5 years or so. And then I did other youth programs too. We have our prep class. It's a 2-day program. It's actually being offered today and tomorrow out at our Frumo campus. But it's about positive choices and healthy relationships and abstinence. And it's a very great program for kids ages 11 to 18 to take part of. They get a nice breakfast, they get a lunch, and then they earn a $150 gift card for taking the 2-day class. And not only do they have that nice incentive to maybe help buy school clothes or different things that they need at home, they get to make friends too, because we open this up to all of the different school districts. So it's not just one. We try to make it open so that we have summertime courses that we have during the holidays of school, when the schools take breaks and different things like that. So then all the kiddos in Lawrence County here could take part of it.
And when you were originally applying for the role, what exactly drew you into becoming a community support?
Well, you know what? So many years ago, and I was trying to think about that because that's one of the questions we always ask. And if my memory is correct, I remember, I don't know, I must have been like 22 at the time. So I think I was still in school because I always called myself like a lifelong student. Mm-hmm. I just kept going for like different things and different classes. But I remember applying, and I knew always about LCAP because I'm from here, raised here, never left. So like this is my home. So I always knew about LCAP, Lawrence County Community Action Partnership, and all the great things that we do. So I remember applying, and I knew some girls like from school that worked here at the time too, many years ago. And I remember applying, and I think the only position might have been for like, it was a Head Start teacher or it was something, but I wasn't qualified because I didn't go to school for education. And I never applied again. I actually got a job in Niles, Ohio, for a place called Homes for Kids. So I was out that way. And there was a couple other girls from Newcastle that were out that way too. So it was nice. I wasn't like too far from home because there was other people. But I did a job where I would go into the school districts there and work side by side with the kids. And so I was happy there. I never, was looking for anything different at the time. I mean, I probably was 23 or so at the time. And I got a call from LCAP, from Vicki Patton. And she said that there was, and this was a couple years later from when I applied. So I don't know, maybe I was like 26. I can't remember. I was trying to think. that there was a case manager job open. Well, I said, isn't that something? I haven't even applied for all those years, and they call me out of the blue. So I remember coming in, and I brought everything that it was requested, like my resume or whatnot. And again, I met with Chris Fry, and then I met with Tracy Cherry. She was our director at the time. And I got the job. So, I mean, I've been here ever since, and I love it, and I love coming to work. And it's funny because, you talk about, like, what's a hard part of your job. And really, I mean, the hardest part, I think, would be seeing some of the sadness that's out in the community. Kids maybe not having food or maybe like the homeless population that we do have. But I can't say there's anything hard exactly about my job because I love it and I love taking care of people and I love helping people and providing everything that I can to others. So here I am 9 years later.
I would say probably the hardest thing about your job is fitting everything in one schedule for your day because you're just always everywhere doing everything.
Yes, I am. Yeah. And I kind of like it. But then again, sometimes it's like, well, I got so many things to do and then I just don't have time. But you know what my big saying has been this last year, because I had a lot of changes go on this last year, is you just got to take everything one day at a time. And sometimes it's 1 minute at a time too,
Absolutely.
because there's a lot going on. But yeah, some of the ladies here say, looking at your calendar gives me anxiety because I go from here to there to the Salvation Army. I help out there at their food pantry and provide SNAP information. And then if I'm not there, we're here doing our podcast, or I'm out at Frumo helping Kristen. For the summer I was out there. So yeah, but I enjoyed. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So how do you stay organized since you have so many different roles that you play here?
Well, I'm very old school, so I have a calendar that I write in. So everything gets written down. Everybody's birthdays, everything I have to do, my own personal appointments, my daughter's appointments, just things that I'm doing. And then I go into my work calendar and I put everything in there. So that's always in there. And then I'm real good about, like, if I read an email, then I put it into the inbox, like, for read. So then I always know what I'm doing and I never try to miss anything. And I just try to keep up to date too with community happenings. So I'm able to share that with everybody. And like I said, I just take it day by day and try to be as easygoing as I can and accommodating to everybody. So,
well, you definitely are accommodating to everybody.
Thank you. And so are you. So are you, always being there every time we need you for something. And, you do a great job because you're shining what LCAP is out there in the community. So both of you. So we appreciate that very much.
So what is something that you've learned about yourself while doing this work over the last 9 years?
Well, I've learned a lot. I grew a lot too. I mean, 9 years isn't a long time, but I can remember first starting and, maybe being like naive about what goes on around you and just different things. So I learned a lot about myself. I had my daughter during my journey here too. She's 5. So I grew in that way too, as being a mother. And just not to be so like stressed or always needing everything to be done at that moment. Everything always gets done. And that's something, here we're always changing and we're always growing and we're always moving from, one place to the other. And no matter what, it always gets done. And the support that we have here from, our directors and our, CEOs, Jen and Tom, I mean, it's just great support. We talk about that pretty much on every show, about the support that we have here and how we're so family oriented. And it's very true.
And throughout your time here, can you share a moment where you saw your efforts directly impact someone in the community?
Gosh, there's so many people I could think of. I hope a lot of seniors, and they're near and dear to my heart, like especially with SNAP. And Jackie Cozen and I, we do a lot of outreach together at different senior centers and senior homes and different events. So all of the seniors just are so thankful and so kind. There was this one gentleman, it's funny, he came in last week. He needed help after I helped him apply for SNAP, just turning in what he needed to be turned in through the county assistance office. And he said, you know what? He said, I wish I could have a duplicate of you and just take you home with that, your happiness and smile and positivity and just things like that. Like I get a lot of compliments, throughout the week, being with our kiddos through early learning. I always say, we have the most amazing teachers, the most outstanding early learning here in Lawrence County. I could say that firsthand because my daughter attended over the last couple years, and just being a part of the different things they do in their classroom as a mother, and then also taking part of the different things as a worker too that we offer the community in early learning. So I got to see a lot of great things, watch the kids grow over time, and again, meet a lot of different people in the community that, we make a difference for.
How do you build strong relationships with the different people that you encounter and the different agencies that we work with?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I think it just comes natural, to be honest. I don't do anything different than anybody else. I just seem to make friends a lot. And then, over the last couple years being in this role, because it'll be 3 years, I think 3 years now in August coming up that I've been in this role of agency services specialist, going out in the community, meeting people from different agencies. And it's such a small knit community. I kind of know a lot of people from before anyways, just personally and working here. And I work at the front desk too. Like if our 2 front desk ladies happen to be off or not available, I'm there. So I've met people over the years, helping out up there and doing that. So I think honestly, to answer the question, it just comes like a natural being.
I definitely believe that because my description of you for anybody that's never met you before is you are sunshine in human form. So
Aww.
I definitely believe that.
Thank you. You are too.
So obviously, you are a member of this podcast team. So the next question that I'm going to ask you. But I know it's a little early to think about, your legacy and everything and retiring because, you're still so active and you have so many other things that you want to do in the community. But, as you reflect on your 9 years here and then looking forward into the future, what is the legacy that you're hoping to leave once you're done here?
Well, to always be that person that was always willing to help no matter what, to always jump into, getting things done, whatever needs done. And that one person that, that just I always say hello to people. I always say hi, even if I don't know them. Hi, how are you? And I remember one time I met somebody, wasn't at the grocery store. I think it was one of our schools. I don't know. And she came back to me and she said, you know what? People don't say hello and how are you? And you made my day. She was having like a rough going on at that time. And so that always stuck with me too. But like I said, if I'm in the grocery stores, I always smile at everybody. I always, wave or, just give a hello because again, you never know what anybody's going through. So it's always nice to be kind and genuine and that's what makes a difference. So I would hope to be just remembered as that type of person.
You absolutely will. And I would say everyone needs a Kim in their life.
Everybody does need a Kim in their life.
Wow. Thank you. I agree with the both of you too. I love working next to you both and doing our podcast and having our guest on and hearing everybody's story. It's special.
Yes. And I know when I initially asked you to be a member of our podcast team, one of my main reasons behind that was because you are so influential. And then also you take the time to get to know everyone in the agency. So me being a newcomer into the agency, there was a lot of things that I didn't know about people and, and you have built that rapport with a lot of people here. So it's nice that, not only do you talk about it, but you actually be about it as well. So you take the time to get to know everyone. And that's really special. There's not a lot of people who do that now in the community.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I love everybody here. I feel like if I don't talk to you every day, at least I try to, every once in a while stop by or, give a little note or a card or a nice little hello real quick.
Or a flower. I'll wake up from my nap on break and there'll just be a flower in my car waiting for me to wake up.
Yes, I've been picking flowers around and bringing them to everybody. And I didn't want to be a bother, so I knew it would make your day whenever you were ready to see it.
Yes, I did appreciate that. So, alrighty, we learned a lot about you, but we're going to learn some more. So, we're going to make our way to the quick fire round. And obviously, you know how that works. So, Amber, do you want to go ahead and ask the first question?
Alrighty. What is your go-to way to de-stress after a long day?
Oh goodness, I can't wait till 4:30 so I could see my daughter. She's like my whole joy of everything. It's funny cuz today she was so tired. Last night we went out with Wendy. She's another coworker here of mine. She works in our community service department. She was just on community sports department. I'm sorry. She was just on our show here a couple weeks ago, but we went out to dinner after work and then we went to Pearson Park. And so today my daughter was super tired. So my mom came over and she let her sleep for a little bit, but like I didn't get to say good morning to her. And it's just getting home to her is the best part of my day. Just like waking up with her is the best part of my day too. So we do a lot of fun things. We're always on the move. So I think, just being with her is like my biggest de-stressor. And honestly, I try not to be too stressed about anything because life's short. And we only have one chance to, give our all and take it all in. So I just kind of, enjoy the little things.
And what's a random object on your desk that has a story behind it?
Well, there's a couple. So there was this wonderful lady. Her name was Linda Thomas. She worked here. And she worked here for many years. And she was a great friend of mine personally and Jackie Cozen's. And she left because she was retiring. So she retired 3 years ago. And I kind of did a little bit of what she did during her time here. I started out doing that. She was a great help to me. So we became friends even prior to that. But anyways, sadly to say, she was in a car accident just right after she retired. She was looking forward to travel and just do the things she always wanted to do. She was in the terrible car accident, so unfortunately she passed away. But she left me, and I didn't know this until Jackie had told me. She left me this little giraffe. And it says, like, you can do this, something motivational like that. It's the cutest little giraffe. And anyways, during her funeral, she had a giraffe in her, like with her.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
And Jackie said she loved giraffes. And I said, oh my gosh, Jackie, she gave me one. I never knew that about her. So that's on my desk, and that's something special.
That's so sweet.
And then I have a rock that was just made to me from Stephanie Quigley. She used to work here. And it has a 4-leaf clover on it. She painted it and has a dog paw, and it has a heart. And for those of anybody listening who may not know, I had a dog. His name was Fredo Corleone. He was a St. Bernard. And when I say St. Bernard, he was a true saint. He was the community dog. I mean, everybody knew him. Everybody loved him. He gave back as much as he could for, different donations that he did throughout the year. So he just passed too. He just crossed the Rainbow Bridge. So it'll be 3 weeks now tomorrow. So I have a special rock and his special pictures. I have lots of plants. I love plants and they bring happiness. So there's lots of things on my desk that hold a very special, part in my heart.
So I know you really like the classic movies. What is your favorite movie?
Well, I have a couple. So I love Goodfellas. I love The Godfather. That's where Fredo Corleone originated from. I mean, when Beethoven came out, I'm a little bit older than you girls, but years ago when Beethoven came out when I was young, I said, I'm going to get a St. Bernard. And then as I grew up and started liking the different movies and stuff, I said, I'm going to name him Fredo Corleone. I just think and guess what? It was so fitting for him too, because he didn't like any other dog. So it was kind of fit Fredo's original role that, he was like a traitor. Well, Fredo was a traitor to the other dogs. So, but anyway, so yeah, I like 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Pretty Woman. I'm like an 80s. I just love all those movies.
What's a quote or a phrase that's always stuck with you?
I'm going to come up with one I think is pretty good. You don't have to be perfect all the time. And this is coming from me, just nobody ever said this to me. So you don't have to be perfect all the time. You just have to try to give your best and your all each and every day. So I think that's a good one. And like I said earlier too, life is too short. I mean, these months, I don't know if anybody else is recognizing it, but these months just keep going into the next month, into the next month. And I'm just trying to take it all in and live the best life that we can with what we have.
So, what is one bucket list item that you'd like to check off?
I always wanted to go to Maine.
Ooh.
Always.
Anything in particular you want to do there?
I want to see the sailboats. I love sailboats. And just
Aw.
walk around and have, eat crabs and, just.
I've heard it's very beautiful up there. I've never been up
Yes.
there, but I've heard that it's absolutely gorgeous.
I would love to go like during the fall too. I think that would be perfect,
Mhm.
like seeing the different changes going on there in the fall. So that's one thing that, I always say that's one thing that I want to do, and maybe one day I'll be able to.
If your job had a theme song, what would it be?
That's a good one, and we talk about that on the show. I'm trying to think it, and this is another thing too. I guess I'm not like really well rounded with like all the new things going
Well, it
going
doesn't have
on.
to be a new song. It could be an 80s song.
But here's the thing though too. This is terrible. I don't even really listen to the radio. Like I'm always talking. Like I'm talking to my daughter, or I'm talking to my mom, or I'm talking to people here. Like I never even have the radio on. So I really don't know.
Maybe it'll just be elevator music then.
Yeah. Or a good Italian song by
Okay.
Frank Sinatra.
We'll go with
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
just
That's a
nice
good
and
one.
soothing, and yeah, I think that would be great.
So, you always like to ask people their favorite place to eat in town. So, where is your favorite place to eat in town?
Oh gosh, I always feel like I like a lot of things. I love Cedars. Love Cedars. It's on the east side of town. You got to try it. They have really good grape leaves. They have great lamb. They have great salads. I like Pagley's. I love Edwards.
Love Edwards.
Love Edwards. And then, like I said, Wendy and I and the girls, we just went last night to the Crane Room, and I love the Crane Room too.
We got
There's-
lots of good places
have
to
lots.
eat around here.
Yeah. Elham's. I love everything, to be honest. Ladies of the Dukes. I could eat everywhere every night.
All right. And I know this one's going to be hard for you because you enjoy everything about your job. But what is one task at work that you do that you secretly enjoy?
One task. I would say helping people just apply for anything, whether it's referring them to Axe or Snap or helping them at the front counter or answering the telephone. I love to answer the telephone because you get to meet people over the phone, and then you get to refer them to anything that they need or learn a little bit about them. And, so I mean, I like everything. I really do enjoy everything that I do.
I knew you were going to say that.
One thing I don't enjoy, though, if we want to talk about that, is our time and effort.
I was going to say that too.
My Lord, I get anxiety when they come out, and yes, that's one thing, and that's just a minor little thing, but nobody enjoys doing them either.
We originally asked you to be the guest for this week. You said you didn't have anything to talk about, but 30 minutes later, Kim, we have so much to talk about. So thank you so much for joining the podcast this week. We really appreciate it. And before we go, is there any resources that you want to plug into the community or people who may be listening?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me again as a guest today. Yeah, sometimes when you think about yourself, it's like, well, you really don't have much to say, but you're right. You could get to talking, and you two ladies are just so great, and how you ask the questions, so it makes everything feel nice and easy and smooth. So for any future guests that are maybe a little bit nervous about coming on, try it out. It's a great time here in our podcast studio. So there's a couple different back to school events going on in the community. Amber does a great job with posting them on social media. So there's one at the City Rescue Mission that's coming up. There's one at Newcastle Area School District that will be coming up too. And then there's another one too. Oddly enough, we just talked about Edwards, right next to Edwards at it's a local barber shop. I don't remember their exact name, but there's 3. So that's important for us to get that out into the community. So parents know, hey, if your child needs a backpack, or if they need pencils or glue or tablets or whatever it is, free haircut, that they could go, to those different events that are coming up. And then soon will be Overdose Awareness Day, the end of August. That'll be coming up too. So we'll have that out in the community. It's August 31st every year, and it's on a Sunday this year. So we want to get that out so we get the community to come out and support that, because that's a very important cause that needs to be supported. And then the fall's always nice because Challenges, Options, and Aging always does their fit walk. So that's open to the community to go out and do some exercises, learn a little bit about Challenges, what they have to offer for people 50 and over. And then the Senior Expo will be coming up. So there's a lot of good events. Stand Down will be coming up in October too. So pretty much for everybody just to keep following us on Facebook, because the ladies here do a great job of getting out, not only what we do in the community, but what everybody else is up to too. So everybody can take part in.
Well, thank you so much for being our guest this week, Kim. And before we go, is there anything else that you would like to get off your chest or say?
I don't believe so. I'm just happy to be here, and thanks for having me on, and looking forward to many more guests that we have on our show.
We're happy you agreed to be a guest today instead of just hosting with us.
I'm waiting for the day that it's us three going back like a little talk show. I think that would be really nice and fun to do.
Well, we'll have that in the future. Keep you guys on your toes, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Alrighty. Well, that will wrap up episode 24 of LCAP Legacy Decades of Dedication. And of course, we'll be back next week with another special guest.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.